Okay, it should be registering. Cool, let's wait for people. I'm recording. I hope. Oli!
Hello.
Oli, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Good, good.
For a minute, I was thinking, why is Sarah the one who is putting the link? And later on, I think, because she has computers of Sarah computers.
Yes, exactly. And I strategically put it on lunchtime so I could use someone else's laptop. No, it was not strategical, but then I thought that was a smart idea. Like, it was not planned. No, the thing is that I
Okay.
still didn't understand if, because sometimes my mic doesn't work, but the audio works. So I'm still, like, I need to fix this thing this weekend. But how
But
are
you
you?
cannot use like headphones or something like that?
No, I cannot even plug my headphones. I don't know why. Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah.
In my case, I'm moving to one coffee to another
What?
to
So,
have 50. One
wait.
coffee, like I'm moving. No, today I'm in Starbucks.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, okay.
It's the one with better Wi-Fi. Like I prefer to be in the own cafeterias, like Indonesian ones, but they have less or bad Wi-Fi, or there's a lot of people shouting. Here it's really like quiet.
Chill.
There's no people shouting, so it's the best
Nice.
way because the last one I was with Anna,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, oh my god, I don't listen here.
You know that I also wrote my VP application on a Starbucks 2 years
Hmm?
ago. I also wrote my VP application in a Starbucks because I was abroad as well, and I was always going to Starbucks to like write my application. So yes.
In
Hello
my case, I
guys. Sorry, what?
Hi.
What did you say, Irene? It's very noisy. I don't know from who,
I
but
wish I will
yeah, yeah,
help myself.
it's fine, it's fine. Mari, we don't see you. Tell the truth, you're
Yes,
still in your
it's like
I'm
I'm finishing
It's okay.
doing like tortitas. I have like one left, so it's like, oh, look, do you see?
Ah, okay. Like cositas.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Cool, guys. So LCP University is almost at the end. This was supposed to be the
Not
last
for me.
one, but actually there's still Anita that yesterday couldn't deliver the webinar, so she's gonna do it on Monday. But actually for Mari and Raquel, this is the last one.
Yes.
So how do you feel? Are you happy?
Good. Like now I have to plan how to do all the tasks, all the tests, and to see how's everything.
Cool, cool. When is your deadline of the application?
For me, I have to change it, and I think the 19th of September.
Ah, okay. You have time. And elections day?
The following week.
Okay, cool. So you still have a good amount of
Yes.
time. Raquel, when is your application?
For me,
You
the
already sent the
applications has
application?
been. I have delivered already,
Yeah.
and the elections is the 28th of August.
20th of August.
Sí. Yes,
20th?
the 28th
Ah, 28th. Okay. Nice. So,
next week.
okay. Who is chairing your LCP application? Because we didn't have any requests from chairs from the MC.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I will ask. Ask Zaragoza. And Irene, when is yours again?
The writing one is the fifth. The interview is from 13th, and the part of the committee, like presentation and all that stuff, it's 27, I think, of September,
Mm-hmm.
something
Cool.
like that.
I think it's 26 yours, no? Because 27th we have Cochin visit.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know the Friday of that week.
Okay,
Oh,
Friday of that
for
week.
me, it's also 26.
We can do maybe the announcement together. Let's see. Cool.
Yeah.
Raquel, just for you to know, before the like Jota Day is supposed to know, but before the elections day, you're supposed to have an interview with me, John, and with Jota Day. And we are releasing the guidelines today. So book us, like me and John, next week before your election day because it's important to, have it. I will explain everything right now. Were you aware of the interviews?
Okay. The hotel told me about it, but it told me that it was with John and with you only.
Yeah.
No with him.
Yeah, there's one with him as well, and we are releasing guidelines today. So if you can book us for either Monday or Tuesday maximum, it's good. So let's start.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, I will challenge myself and compartir pantalla. Okay, your entire screen. Okay, this laptop is in Catalan. Last time I had a laptop in Hungarian. This time is in Catalan, but it's okay. So, can you see my screen? Cool.
Can everybody please turn off their microphone because I'm using a lot of sound and I
Yeah.
don't listen to audio.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay, so always like I cannot see what you're typing, so if you have any question in any kind of moment, like just say it. Wait, I don't know who's talking. Mari, is it your mom?
No.
Or Raquel? I don't know. Like there was someone speaking in Spanish. Okay, cool. Okay, so welcome to the almost last LCP University webinar. This is about how to master your selection process, and just for you to be happy, this webinar doesn't have any test and any task. So this is to make you happy just in the beginning of the webinar. Yeah, because this webinar is for you to be ready for the selection process overall, like from the application package to the strategic speech to the interviews, for everything. So we will review all the application process phases, and I will give you little tips on how to manage all of them. Cool?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the agenda. It's like check-in, selection process explanation, tips, Q&A, Sorry, I had to remove task explanation. There is no task. Okay, so my question is, what scares you the most about the selection process?
For me, I think that it's the elections
Okay.
because people can be like really bitchy doing the questions.
Okay, so the
So
Q&A.
yes, so
Okay.
it's like the part that most afraids me.
Okay, so Q&A. The others, Irene, Raquel.
In my case, probably I don't know who will be. Like, I think I have to have an interview with an external, and like, I know the MC, I know John a lot, I know Danny. Still, like, I'm knowing you, but I like kind of know what I expect to answer and how to answer. Maybe no, but still, like the last time, I'm not a bad person in interviews. I think, but it's like this part, like I don't know who's gonna ask me, so it's like, what should I expect from them? So it's like,
Okay.
and
So,
maybe my admission is not like the part of the presentation is not scaring me so much because it will be my committee. I know all the time. It will be bitches, but still they love me a little bit of this.
okay. So, yeah, external interview is always like you don't know who is coming, if someone is coming, because it's not compulsory. So, if you have it, I still don't know whose is yours, Irene. I will ask Danny. But yeah, yeah, external interview.
You can give me an spoiler if you want.
Let's see, maybe. Cool. And Raquel?
For me, it's the elections day too, because, for example, application package and these things, I can prepare well, but the questions and the dynamics and all kind of things, they are in the moment, and I don't know exactly what they are going to ask me. So
Yeah, of course. Like it's the undefinite part of the elections that you never know what can happen or yeah. Okay, so let's start. This is the whole LCP election process path. Like these are all the phases. I divided into three phases just to make it easier for you to understand. So it's phase one, so application package questionnaire plus two personality tests. So you know that you also need to submit the 16 personality test and the Enneagram test, and then LCP University tasks and tests. So this phase one is the one that you can prepare the most, you can research, you can study, you can write all your vision and strategy, and it's actually the part that requires more time and research. And it's also the part that you know the most what to expect because maybe it's mainly about answering and studying and asking people stuff. Then it's phase two, so interviews with LCP, interview with MCP and MCPOD, aka John and I. And then there's the optional interview number three with an external. Later I will explain everything, what are the objects of all these parts. And then, sorry, I will just close the door because it's kind of messy. And then there is phase three. So phase three is basically the election day. So on election day, you know, you will have us, like we hope, the majority of the LC there. And you will also have a chair from the MC, almost all of you. So it will be super exciting. I don't know if you have the culture to have your buddy, like, or if you choose it like during the day, because it's nice to have a buddy during the election that, for example, comes with you during all the speeches, like he puts the music that you want and all these things and helps you in general in all the parts. I don't know if you already selected yours or if it's something that you will have only on your elections day.
Usually, like in my committee, at least for my LGBT presentation, there was finance, like the VP finance, who was putting the music or the video or the part that I want. Like I just do like this or whatever, and she skipped the presentation and all that stuff. But it was finance. I don't know why, because he's the one with the laptop, because he's the one writing all the legislation. That's all.
Uh-huh. Okay, but you didn't see, for example, having for each applicant. I mean, right now in your LCs, you're the only applicant, but one specific body that can be either one of your VPs or one of your team leaders, like coming with you with the music and all these things, and like being your main support in the elections. It's something really nice, like you always see it in the MCP elections, and some people have also on a local level. I think it's nice. If you want to have a buddy, just, select one and make it your, I wanted to say slave, but not your slave, like the person that supports you and help you in
Oh, I
the,
didn't know that we can do this.
yeah.
So it's like, can I take also like an alumni?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Of
so
course, of
I will
course.
check.
Yeah, like it's someone that should give you like the energy during the day, the tell you how amazing you are in like every 5 minutes, be like, yes, you did amazing, go on like this, like give you, the energy and be your moral support. So yeah, it's really cool if you want one. So then the elections day will be mainly composed by the strategic speech, the task, the Q&A, and the motivational speech. Of course, in the agenda, you will see that there will be an opening and a closing delivered by the chair, and the main responsible for the legislation is the VP Finance. What is happening after the motivational speech? There will be the report reading read out loud, and we will see later better about which will be the topics of this report. And then there will be the voting and then the water bucket. So this is in general what is going to happen about LCP election process. And now we're going to see phase by phase, like what are the topics that are going to be addressed and some tips on how to face it. Cool?
Yes.
Cool. So let's start with phase one. So pro tips about the application package. So what do you think it's important to show in the application package? I don't know. Have you already, I mean, Raquel has already sent hers, but I don't know the like Mari and Irene, like what percentage are you in your application writing? What are the things that you are focusing on, for example?
In my case, for example, I'm focus on a lot on the areas and on what is the vision that another people has of the also. Like I'm asking the MC and I'm asking later LCPs also from another committees and my VPs, my members, my TLs, so all the members and TLs. And I'm focusing a lot of that and like the way to improve. Like for me, it's not just about making the numbers. It's about working a lot of international relations with all the partners and all that stuff. So I'm focusing a lot about how to improve.
Cool. So, like an overall strategy, let's say. So, you're focusing to have an idea for everything,
Yeah.
basically. Cool. Mari?
For me, it's that I didn't finish it at all.
Yeah, of course.
I think I have like one part or three more or less finished, but I want to do like as doing Irene, asking everyone, telling for feedback for everyone, because it's like I don't know if I'm doing it okay, if I want to do this in this way, but also want to focus also in the way that we can change things in the LC and like fresh ideas, new strategies, and that thing.
Cool. Yeah, it's good to be focused also on how you are going to change the things, because it's easy to put the goals and then not being clear on the path that you want to reach this goal, to follow to reach these goals. But yeah, it's super important to focus on the how as well. And Raquel, if you want to tell us a little bit how you already wrote your application and what did you focus on?
Okay, I focus in the different areas. I went asking the rest of the VP, so GB, finance, and TM, how they were working in their areas, what they think it was work and what not, and with these ideas, I have created like the strategies of the entire LC. And
Nice.
then I ask the team leaders and the team members to know what suggestions they have to improve the LCP.
Okay, so you also ask like to the members and team leaders. Cool. So here it's just very basic pro tips about your application. So first of all, be aware that is the first image that you give about you to your LC. So it of course needs to be free of grammar mistakes. It needs to be properly, like all the answers needs to be properly sorry, all the questions need to be properly answered. Don't skip questions. Don't make some questions super long and some questions super small, like these basic things that maybe you find yourself like 3 minutes before the deadlines and you say, okay, I will answer this in a easy way, you know. So like really give yourself time to answer all the questions. Then present your vision as LCP. This is the most important question, like the most important part. Be clear on your goals. Be clear on where do you want to lead the LC in January 2021. You know, present numbers, present strategies, present the how of the how, as we usually say. Like not only say, I want to, I don't know, reach 350 approvals, but break it down, like what do I want to reach in OGV, OGE, IGV, if you have like, what do I want to reach in all the areas, how many people do I want in the LC, what kind of culture do I want in the LC, you know, like, and try to be as specific as you can with examples. And one thing that will always help you being credible is to back it up with data, you know. So whenever you present a strategy, always try to say, like, for example, you can easily say, I want to improve the retention rate. I want to reach a retention rate of 80%, let's say. Cool, but where are we now? You know, because maybe you have studied a lot and you have a lot the perspective of the current state of your LC, but if you think that the members and team leaders will be there, you need to be as specific as you can. So always try to start with the current state. For example, currently we have 62%, 62, I'm doing a random, I'm saying a random number, retention rate. I want to reach it here. How? You know, so where would be the touch points of the LC? What kind of strategy for, I don't know, OGV, for IR do I have? Try to be specific and try to back it up with always data, conversion rates, and all this. Otherwise, it's just, you know, ideas. But since you are the LCP applicants, you need to show like some research and some analytical mindset as well. Always when you present your goals, align with the MC goals and state, for example, what ranking do you want in Spain? For example, right now you are top 4, you want to reach top 2, let's imagine. And try to, since it's something that we realized in ASIC in Spain, we don't have a lot, try to put, for example, the ranking Europe-wise. You know, so for example, try to have this global mindset of where do you want your LC to be placed, not only in Spain. For example, I want to be top 2 in Spain and I want to be top X in Europe, for example. And to do this, I want to do these certain actions to make it happen, you know. So yeah, these are the tips for the application package. Is there something new that you didn't think about, or is, you know, you have everything set?
The rankings, like in my writing application, they're not thinking to asking me for data. So like, I'm thinking where to put it, because like I have the SWOT, to put there. It's like, I have to think in.
That's cool, because if you think that in our MC plan we have that we want to be top 10 in Spain, then accordingly you can think where your LC can be placed. And for example, you could look for similar LCs in Europe, you know, like just you check on Expa, like have fun with data mining on Expa. If you don't know how to do it, you can always like ask us. Or for example, if you want us to help you with benchmarking with different and like with similar LCs in different entities, you can always ask us. But it's good if you try to instill this European or global mindset, that you're not only like we're not only ISEC in Spain, but we are ISEC, and ISEC is a world like a worldwide movement. So try to go a little bit further. Cool. Anything else that maybe you didn't have in mind?
No.
Okay, let's move forward. Okay, this is easy. Personality tests usually are taken as, okay, this is going to be the last thing that I do. Do you need any help? This is going to be the last thing that I do, like 5 minutes before the deadline. Who cares? Like, personality tests are just to, send them and that's it. That's what I usually did, like in the past. But actually, if you like, personality tests help you if you want them to help you, because you can really have meaningful insights about your personality test. Like, we are asking you for the 16 personalities and the Enneagram. I don't know how you are, like, if you already took them in the past or not.
I have took them so many times that my LCP
Yeah.
and I were
Okay.
controls of how I'm changing to one to another
Mm-hmm.
and trying to put everybody in the right position. I know that you put them in a position that it was like, you're not right. No, you're not. I know, he told me. But it's still like, I take it the first day. They send me the application and the same day I do the 3 tests. It was like, yeah, I've done it. 3 things there. So
Yeah. One thing done to cross check. But the thing is, for example, this can be very useful in the interviews. So, for example, basic stuff that we will ask you in the interviews: strengths, weaknesses, leadership style. How are you at your best? How are you at your worst? What would you do if your VP decides to leave in the middle of an EB meeting? What would you do if your VP did this? Like, and these kind of things can really give you insights about yourself that maybe there are things that you didn't think about it in the past. So don't just take it and just for the sake of having a thing to cross check, but make them useful. Honestly, in the beginning, like, I think my first personality test, I did it for my team leader application, and I was just like, who cares? Then, application after application, test after test, I realized that it can actually be useful for me, because I wasn't very self-aware, like, for example, 2 years ago, and taking personality tests all the time helped me understand all these things. So yeah, like, it's just a tip. Try to make it useful. And for example, in the personality test, you literally have like an overview of yourself, even in strengths, weaknesses. How are you at work? How are you with your friends? So for example, you can already have an insight. Okay, this is not true. This is true. This is true, and I capitalize on this. Or for example, another question that we could ask is, tell me about your weaknesses and how you as LCP are going to tackle them, because for example, there are some strengths that you can capitalize on as LCP and some weaknesses that right now you don't know how you will face your LCP term with these weaknesses, but already have in mind that you have them and that you need to tackle them can be useful also in this phase. Even though you will probably start your term in 6 months, it's good to show people that you have self-awareness, So, yep, this was a very fast tip. Then, okay, phase 1 always comprehends LCP university tests and LCP university tasks. The tests, you just need to take them. And you can take them once, and we will evaluate like above average, average, under average. This is the way we are going to evaluate them, because as you saw, some have like the crosses and some have answers. So every FASI that delivered the webinar will decide like the evaluation mainly. And then LCP university tasks, so you know that you need to send the tasks 1 week before election day. In your case, Raquel, is different because LCP university finishes on Monday and you actually have the elections on Thursday, which is rare, like it's different to the timeline that we suggested as MC. But in your case, we can align individually, like what can be the deadline for you, okay? And again, for the tasks, like we said it 100 times, like ask for feedbacks during the preparation. Like this is why we did webinars and not just recorded videos, even though the majority of people will watch the recordings. But it's also because you can ask us, like we are really here to help you for your preparation, you know? Also, John is in the process of uploading all the videos, like he couldn't finish, like we couldn't finish yesterday. So yeah, the videos will be there very soon. Cool. Do you have any doubts on this?
No.
Cool.
Nope.
Amazing. So yeah, this was just like not really tips, but to remind you. Then phase 2. Okay, you have interview with your LCP, interview with MCP and MCPPOD, and you also have an optional interview that actually your LCP current will decide is going to be with an external. So interview with your LCP. I put you the topics of the interview and some tips on what can you do to actually be ready for this interview. So among all these things, so for example, we have personal why, LC context understanding, CEO competence, team management, and crisis management. What are the things that you are, let's say, you feel less prepared? And what are the things that you feel more prepared or, let's say, ready to answer?
For me, I think personal why will be like the easier part, and also crisis management. I really I don't know how I act really well under pressure. So
Wait, I
like
didn't understand.
uh,
I don't know
crisis
how.
crisis management. I don't know how I work more well into under pressure. Like
Cool.
for me, like something bad it's happening. I'm the only one who is acting like let's do it. Like okay, like I don't mind. You know? Maybe the one who is like working more on it's like the LC context understanding because there are a lot of areas. Well, I'm still talking usually with IGB a lot and back office because I have to use the three products, so I understand them like a little bit, and also your competencies about how to track them. Also, like it's more about the back office that I have never been on than the product for me.
Okay, of course. And for example, what about team management? Like, did you already have set some time for yourself to reflect on how would you like to lead your ED? Like, what kind of touch points would you like to have with them, their development, what your leadership style will be, all these things?
In my case, I will like to follow like in Google we have a really like good routine about that. So about the meeting, about the one-to-ones, personal development plan, I will like to follow the one we are doing. Just focusing also in like team days because our EV was always putting like excuses to not doing it. So we focus a lot on that. Like we have to start maybe later on to work on that. Like to not give the get to know each other activities in the meetings. I was like, okay, we are hurry up. No, we are not. So hurry up. So let's do it. That's one of the things that I don't want to miss, and I want to focus on being more an ED, to trust everybody and everybody, and not just to think that you're the only one who are working because we are little bits of individuals. Like we're and we're a team for a lot of things, but it's still like there's a lot of things that we don't ask another person to do it because we think that we are the responsible one. And the reality is, yes, we are the responsible one, but still we have a maybe that is supporting us for something.
Got you. Nice. This is nice that you're already thinking, for example, what do you want to change from the current state? You know, because, for example, one question that we could ask you is thinking about leadership style, what would you keep from your current LCP and what would you change? You know, so this could be also a question. So be ready to analyze like how is your LCP currently managing the team? I know, Mari, this is not really a question for you, but you can think about your previous LCP. So yeah, like be aware of the leadership style of your current LCP and what you would like to change. So yeah, cool. And then local understanding, this is a matter of studying, but actually if you, okay, for example, there are things that you cannot miss, and LC context understanding is one of these. Like for example, to if a candidate doesn't know the current context of their LC, easily you can get a bad grade in the interviews, because it's the basis, you know. So really like put effort in gathering data, talking with people, and have a, I mean, you don't need to know everything about everything, but you need to know at least like the performance, the current state, like back office, front office, and all these things. Otherwise, like if we receive answers that are, let's say, mediocre, like in this part, is worse than in other parts. Because, for example, in, I don't know, crisis management, you can, maybe this is the time in which you can think about what would you do, but it's also okay and not a disaster if you don't know it now. But if you don't know the context of your LC, yeah, that's worse. So I really encourage you to put a lot of effort in this part. And also, CEO competence, it's about tracking the EB, while team management, it's about leading the EB. I don't know if the difference was clear to you. Cool. Or also like Raquel or Mari, do you have any other insights about this?
No, for me, it's like the most difficult part is the one that is about how to define my type of leadership and self-aware, because it's like the part that it's most difficult for me. But I'm going to put more effort in that so I can manage and see with all the tests that I have taken a lot of time, but another time more.
Yeah, like it's not a matter of taking them, you need to read all the results, you know, and reflect like, does this represent me or not? Or for example, when I applied as LCP, I asked all my EB to give me feedback, you know, and it was huge. Like I asked for a lot of feedbacks, and I think I didn't have as many feedback as in that moment. So it's really useful if people that work closely with you give you a perspective on yourself. So yeah, if you want to ask also other people, is really nice. Raquel, what about you?
For me, the most difficult part would be the crisis management, because I haven't have many problems in ISEC, so they don't know how I act under pressure, and I don't know very well what they would do in that cases. And also the personal way, because the rest I can analyze, investigate data, but I don't know very well still my leadership style and that kind of things.
Okay, so you know what you need to work on. The important thing is to be aware, you know? So yeah, you know what you need to work on. Cool. So second interview, this is the first part of the topic, then there's also another slide. So it's an interview with MCP and MCVPOD, so John and I. We will ask you about mainly, like the topics don't differ that much from the LCP interview, but it's more into an entity context. So for example, we will ask you also about your personal why, not only for your LC, but for example, how are you going to be the representative of your LC externally? You know, so if we look at you, you are the face of your LC. How do you want to be defined? You know, or for example, you are going to be the representative of your LC in the national, European, and international plenary. And also, what would be your contribution in the BOP? Like, it's more on a national and entity scale. Also, entity context understanding, super important. It's like you can find everything in John's webinar. And also, I know that he gave you tasks to talk with past LCPs. So again, like for this part, like reflect on the current state of Isaac in Spain. We could ask you, for example, to give us a perspective of what do you think are the main bottlenecks of Isaac in Spain right now, or what would be your contribution in terms of LC to the entity goal, or I don't know, for example, it could be why do you think Isaac in Spain is relevant? You know, like it's not only an LC understanding, but this is more an entity understanding. And also it's about Europe and global understanding. So how would you make sure to represent your LC in international conferences, for example? Why do you think an LCP should go to RPM, should go to IC, should go to Euro Expro? Like why is it important to connect entity with European and global plenary? And the second, and also, like it's just a second slide, we will also assess the organizational knowledge. So ISEC way, the why, how, and what, ISEC values, the leadership development model, ISEC 2020, especially the foundational projects. And then what we will also do is to discuss some tasks about LCP University. So for example, like here I put an example of a question that is like, in this timeline, for example, in the OGV timeline, you put this, like, why did you do it? Or, I don't know, in the timeline of team standards, you put that you want to do this, like, why? Like, let's discuss about it. Or, for example, I don't know, why did you choose this specific foundational project to implement in your LC? You know, like it's a space in which we can understand better your ideas and discuss your tasks. Also because it's the only point in which we will discuss your task, so we want to give it importance. Also, okay, a tip is, for example, imagine that you already know that some tasks you left them, I don't know, you give them less importance, let's say, you know? So we will probably look for those tasks, you know, because if a task is super well done, we can evaluate in the report that it's very well done. So we will, you know, put maybe above average in the reporting. But in the interview, we will want to discuss the things that we are not certain about. So if you know, come prepared to the interview and maybe already tell us like, yes, for example, in this task, I would like to add, and you can add stuff, you know. So we can ask you like, what do you think about the task? What do you think about LCP University? And you can, give us your perspective. About this, do you have any doubt, or is there anything that you didn't think about before? I can put you the slide of before if you want.
No, in my case, I don't have any question.
Okay.
Me neither.
Okay, so clear. Amazing. Then we have an optional third interview that is with an external. Again, this is optional. So your LCP current will decide. And usually what happens is that the external interview is for an alumni. So the external interview should give us, again, as the word say, an external perspective. So it's someone that needs to know the context of either your LC or Isaac in Spain. But let's say it's not either in ISEC right now, so it's not from the MC, it's not from your LC. It could be, for example, an alumni from your LC. It could be a past MC, like an outgoing MC, I don't know, like Mikel, Santi, Dani, someone that is outgoing. Or like a former LCP of your LC, for example. Why this interview is to because, for example, some people know you, like for example your LCP know a lot about you, the MC have a perspective of what needs to happen right now. The external interview can be just another perspective on how you are on a first sight, let's say, you know. So, and usually this interview needs to cover some topics that are not being covered in the other two interviews. So, for example, one is always understanding the historical context of your LC. So, what I suggest you is to prepare with data from the past 5 years. So, of course, this is a topic that is going to be covered in other interviews. But if it's an alumni from your LC, he can go deeper. He or she can go deeper. While, for example, we cannot go deeper in what happened 3 years ago. But let's imagine you want to, I don't know, have a strategy that has already been tried in the past. Like this person can give you the perspective of what happened, Then it's understanding current threats and opportunities. So again, be ready to explain the strategies for your LC. So this is more like, again, to explain your strategies, like to give you perspective on, okay, I want to do this, and this, and these are the reason why. And in this interview especially, you should be, it's not a personal interview on your personal why, it's more strategical, it's more like, I really want to achieve this, and I want to do it in this way, so these are my action steps. And this person can give you a perspective based on experience, based on the fact that he or she knows Isaac in Spain and these things. And then it can be other topics decided by your LCP. So what I told you is what usually an external interview is. But for example, if your LCP understands that there are some other topics to cover, that can also, in this case, be either, I don't know, on your leadership style, it can be on your personal values, it can be anything else, basically. Your LCP can actually ask this external person to add topics, okay? So the interview number 3 with an external is kind of free, let's say. This is what you should prepare on, but then like there can be always extra things. So yeah, I understand that Irene is saying like, I don't know who is this person gonna be, what is this person going to ask me. Don't worry, like it's just a deeper understanding on your strategy mainly. Do you have any questions about this?
No.
Okay, don't freak out. It's okay, it's an interview, no one will bite
Well,
you.
my last interview with an external, the feedback that I received, it was like, I don't remember what she said, but she talked a lot. So it was like, okay, thank you.
Who did you do the last interview with?
It was my VP interview, like for being EP, it was with the LCP from 2 years ago. Well, 3 years now. So it was Eric.
Okay.
And it was, the feedback it was like, she talks a lot, and it was like, I
Okay,
don't remember, I talked too much.
we will make sure that the feedback are proper and clear. Cool. So,
Thank you. I want more feedback.
yeah. Okay, so then what is going to happen on election day? So phase 3. We have the strategic speech, we have the motivational speech, Q&A, and task or role play. Cool. So the strategic speech is going to be the very first thing that you are going to do. Like there will be the opening from the chair, and then there will be the strategic speech. So it's mainly a summary of your application. Again, the most important thing that your LC needs to get out of this strategic speech is your vision. Like they need to understand, again, who are you, what do you want to bring to the LC, and why should I vote you? Because they will have to empathize with your goals and to understand, okay, I want to reach the goals like this, and like this. So the most important thing is it's clarity of your vision, clarity of your strategy, clarity of the goals. So let's try to be clear and visual and use the support of the PPTs. And again, this is the moment to say everything. So like if you didn't say something on on your application, this is the moment to say it. Like not that you need to say everything, you need to summarize the most important thing, but if you realize that you didn't say a very important thing, say it here. For example, I remember that in my application I put a lower goal because I knew that we wouldn't achieve, and then I realized no, actually I want to, go higher, and I changed actually my goal in realization and approvals in my strategic speech. So this is the last thing, like what is here is really the last thing that you can say about your vision. And you can also ask someone to help you, maybe with the delivery and everything. Maybe you can ask this, like if you're gonna have a buddy, ask this person if it's going to be clear and enjoyable. Do you have any question about this?
Yes. So like this is the most part that I have not talked, like even think about it. So the strategical speech, should I like put like what I expect from the committee, like the culture and all that stuff? Also, like it's like summarizing my application. No?
Yeah, like mainly it will be like what are your goals, so goals in approvals, and then what are you going to do to achieve these goals, so you have the goals in approvals, you have the goals for back office, so you have, I don't know, finance standards implementation or retention rate, what kind of culture do you want. Like what I suggest is to have like 3 main drivers, and then from these drivers go down and break down your goals, so yeah, it's mainly a summary of the application.
But should I put like, for me, like I don't remember Danny putting the numbers of like approvals of LCP, because at the end it was me, Alba, and Isabel who were, when I was Mafi, who were thinking about how many approvals do we want. It was not Danny decision.
I know, but it's like the number that the LCP put in the LCP application is not necessarily the number that the LC will achieve, because in the end the EB will take the final decision, of course, but it's the mindset of where do I want to lead the LC. Like for example, I want to grow, I don't know, 100% in OGV. So you understand that the line, let's say that the focus of this LCP will be OGV, for example. I want to like this thing, and it's important, yeah, of course, like the EB will understand and figure out the goals, but then when you think about EB elections, your VPs will already have an idea of what to propose to the LC, because the LCP already have downscaled what are their ideal goals that he or she wants to achieve. So yeah, I think
Maybe it's not just about the goals about EBs. It's also, for example, like for me, I'm working a lot in IR, so it's also the goals of IR.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
The thing is like, okay, it's important to put the goals, but you don't need to do a VP elections. It's an LCP elections, So always put the goals in terms of, what do you want to reach in all the functions, in finance, in TM, what kind of culture do you want from your LC? But like, again, don't be too specific on, for example, what do you want to do with IR? Try to always have the LCP perspective. Like, how can you as LCP can contribute to IR, but not like the specific things that is a thing that your VPs will do.
Okay.
Cool. Do you have any other questions or insights? Okay, let's go. So Q&A. Can you guys maybe mute your mic? Okay, cool. Okay, the Q&A, again, it can be 1 round or 2 rounds of maximum 15 questions each. Sorry, give me a second. I finish at 2. Okay. Sorry, it was Fabiana Braganza asking me for the meeting room. Cool. Okay, Q&A, usually it's like 1 round or 2 rounds. It usually lasts like 1 hour, let's say, depending on how many rounds you have, and usually each round is no more than 15 questions. So, as you know, The Q&A is usually like the tricky part because you don't know what answers you will have. But on your side, you know what you can prepare, you know? So again, be ready to challenge your application. So for example, read again your application and think, where do people can have, they can have doubts here? You know, for example, you're writing something that maybe to their eyes cannot be super clear, so be ready for a question about it. Or you put something very, very brave, let's say, prepare a question about it, you know? So like be ready to explain all your strategies. So prepare in advance. Like you can actually prepare to the Q&A. Always with data, always like reformulating your strategies. For example, you can be asked both about strategy but also about motivation, because if people are thinking that your motivation is not enough, you can have a question in the Q&A. You can be asked about team management skills or performance management skills. And again here, like it's not something that there's a, you know, answer that is right and an answer that is wrong. They want to understand your mindset, you know, like both in the Q&A and in the task. It's not like really right or wrong. It's your vision, your leadership style, your strategies, your goals. So they want to understand you better. Never feel attacked in the questions. Really, like it's not that they're asking you questions because they want to, I don't know, make you in difficulty or like being, yeah, like see you struggling. It's just to understand you better. So, you know, just chill and answer the way you would answer. Don't think that they're attacking you. So for example, yeah, you can also have situational questions as I put here. And about the tasks, again, I also put it here like this phase is for the LC to understand your mindset, your approach to work, your non-negotiables, and your priorities. It's personal, so it's you, like you as Irene, Raquel, Mari, Dani, everyone, like what is your perspective on the things. So it's really personal. Like it's your way to do things, your mindset, your non-negotiables. Like, so really don't take it as an attack, but take it as an advantage to show who you are. So for example, in the task, you can have a role play, both about ISEC or not. For example, a role play about ISEC would be that we present you a situation like we did in the how to run an EB meeting session. And you can say what would be your main 3 next steps, or how would you structure the agenda of your next AB meeting. This is a typical example. Or an example about non-ISEC related task is that, I don't know, you are the CEO of a startup and due to financial issues, if you want to reach your annual goal, you need to fire some employees. What would you do? Not raise the goal and not fire your employees, or vice versa. And this, again, no correct or wrong answer. It's just to understand your mindset. So, yeah. Do you have any questions about the Q&A and the tasks? I can go back with the...
No. In my case, I don't.
Okay. Okay. So, like, really, for the Q&A and the tasks, like, be ready, be prepared, you know, maybe think about, I don't know, other questions that have been asked last year. Like sometimes people ask very weird questions like, what would you do with 10K? Like if we gave you 10K right now, what would you do? You know? Or like these kind of questions. Someone left the meeting because I cannot see.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, that's really cool.
Okay. Cool. I will.
Speaker.
Nice. La la la.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So always here tasks and Q&A. And then the last thing, you have the motivational speech. Okay, what should you do? What should you do in the motivational speech? Is really be vulnerable and show who you are. You know, show your purpose in ISEC, show your leadership style, share your non-negotiables. It needs to be you. Like, why would you like to be LCP? What can this experience give to yourself, to the LC, and to ASIC in Spain? And just enjoy it, make it very personal, and make it, relevant for your LC. Do you have any doubts about this?
No, in my case, I don't.
Okay, like from all these things, you were saying that the Q&A is worrying you, the external interview is worrying you. Now that you saw like all the topics that we will cover, like do you think you can prepare like more? Like do you have any like a clearer idea of what is going to happen?
Yeah, in my case, I know that I have to work also a lot on the presentation.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, me too. And also, it's like I'm at the same time excited for the elections, but also like really scared because it's like really personal, really showing how what you're going to do and everything. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, I know. But really think that this is a basic rule of public speaking. People want you to succeed. If you are speaking in public, if you are saying anything in a session in an LC meeting, if you're doing an election, people are there to listen to you and people want you to succeed. You never think about this because you're always thinking, they will judge me, but people really, they are waiting for you to shine. So I think everyone, like if there's a good environment, you can really have everything to do a good selection. So what happens after is that after the motivational speech, you can actually relax and breathe and go to drink with the chair. Because the people will, no, sorry, before is the report. Okay, before going to drink or relaxing completely, you will hear the report out loud that will be read in front of everyone, and it will contain the interviews assessment and the LCP university test and tasks assessment. So in this report we will read like in front of all the LC, and the LCP is also responsible for this, the interview with LCP, the interview with external if you have, and the interview with MCP NOD, and also all the phases of the LCP university will provide an evaluation, an assessment of how did you deliver the tasks. So for example, if you really did a good, like if you were, for example, as you that you were here in all the webinars, it will be written. So it's a good thing that can position you well. Or for example, even if you didn't come to the webinars but you did like awesome tasks, it will be written. So it's something that can really position you in a good way or in a bad way. So then after this you can really breathe. And the LC will meet separately without the applicants with extras. There will be the LC voting, the announcement, and the water bucket. So election day is over. So again, I wrote that, okay, this last webinar, there's no task and no test, so you are lucky and free to go. My question is, how do you feel after all this? And I can put the camera.
For me, is that I was saying it's like really excited because I love elections day, but it's also like really scared because we have to prepare a lot of things. I have to show all of this in front of my LC. So it's like I remember my VP elections that I was like really, really scared of what they're going to ask me, how they're going to see my speech and everything. So it's like I have that that recuerdo. So it's like, okay.
Got you. It's okay. It's elections, like it's like this. Raquel, what do you think? Or Irene?
in my case, like I don't like to be like the center. I don't like do presentation. I hate them. Like
Okay.
I can be talking if like if there is everybody, like for example, if we have a meeting, there's all the LC, I can tell there's a problem. But when I have a presentation, like I don't like it. I start to talk more quickly. I already talk every day, so it's like yeah, I'm not a shy person, but still I'm not a relaxed person. So it's like and it's like and I don't do
Yeah.
it too much.
For this
So
is
that's my main.
practice.
Yeah, like I'm doing yoga for that.
Lol.
But still, it's like the parts for me, like I love the challenges. I know that this is a challenge, so I'm working really hard on it and to do my best.
Nice. Okay. Raquel, how do you feel?
For me, I'm a bit scared of my LC because I don't know very well the
We kind of lost you. Okay, we lost you.
I cannot listen to her.
Yeah, me neither. Raquel, maybe if you want to remove the camera. Also, I need to leave you because you have the webinar of the RIS. So they told me tell them to go to the webinar. Raquel, now we can see you. What were you saying? Sorry.
Hmm?
What were you saying? Because we lost you.
Sorry.
We lost you.
Um, that I'm very scared because I don't know exactly what my LC is going to ask me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's normal. Maybe do yoga like Irene and do a yoga session together. Cool, guys. Thank you for. No, Irene left. Thank you for the meeting, like the webinar. I wanted to take a picture, but Irene left. Okay, she is here again. Cool.
Sorry.
It's okay, it's okay. I was just saying thank you for participating. Let's take a picture so I can put it in Instagram because it's my day in the MC presentation, so I can show. Okay, smile. Cuties. Nice, I will tag you. Nice, guys. Go to the RIS webinar if you can.
So there is, yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Ah, thank you.
I need to close.